Can I teach my child to read? If that's you and you have fear and trepidation in your heart and you are scared because you don't know if you're qualified, you don't know if you have the skills, and you have no idea if you can even reach your child. He's too or she is too far gone. I want you to think right now, yes, you can do it. That's why you clicked on this video. And if I could tell you that I had in this treasure box the keys to teaching reading and that you could learn it, I want to make reading as much as opening a treasure box. Just stay with me. The next 30 seconds, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to teach your student how to read. And you're going to be glad you stayed. So first of all, you are here to join the reading revolution. You have a child that cannot read, and so you are going to be part of the solution. If that's you, like and subscribe and share this video, because we're raising the Reading Revolution Army, because one child at a time, one student at a time, one reader at a time, we can make a difference. You see, there's a collective illusion around here that only experts know how to teach reading. And I'm going to tell you this, you're going to be that expert after you take this lesson, because you will learn what the experts have failed to grasp over the last 30 years. So my program is Comprehensive Phonics, a method of teaching reading. And there's 3 parts. English has 45 different sounds, spelled 92 different ways, and there are 25 spelling rules. And they can all fit in this little box. And now I'm going to show you why this does not teach reading. Let's learn the alphabet. You can count them, 26 letters of the alphabet, but this does not teach you reading. No matter how you look at it, you've got to go further than knowing the alphabet. But what I'm going to uncover for you is the rules that will keep you on the right track, give you the right amount of knowledge, and you can learn as you go, teaching your student. Learn the lesson, teach the lesson. Learn the lesson, teach the lesson. This is the most exciting part of life. I've done it, you can do it. And children learn how to read every day. When you read Matilda, when you read Heidi, all these books, they're like, oh, reading's too hard. And then all of a sudden, they learn how to read. And that's what's going to happen. It's not all of a sudden. It took time. But taking the time that you're doing right now is going to put your child on the path to success, you on the path to success. But there's knowledge in books you haven't even read that's going to solve the problems you don't even know you have, because books are where the knowledge comes from. So let's get down to business, and I'm going to show you how to teach reading. Rule number 1, understand what a phonogram is. Phono means sound, gram means to write. So a phonogram is how you write the sounds in the English alphabet. Remember those 45 sounds? Now these phonograms, it links the way the word is spelled to the way the letters are pronounced. Just looking at the alphabet, you are not going to be able to spell out your ABCs to read. You have to start with the phonograms. And there's 92 different phonograms, and they start like this. This is a single letter phonogram, and this is the back of the card. Your student only sees the front of the card. A, ah. Now you say it. A, ah. Now you write it. A, ah. Now you read it. A, ah. Now beginners, you can tell them this is how we learn to read, and they will do that. Advanced students, they can see the sentence. Let's read this sentence. A fat, lazy wasp was about to bite me. Now, I didn't slowly sound out those, but if you look, every word had a different pronunciation for that letter A. And that's why it gets confusing. The kids are so invested in learning, and then they can't sound out the words, and then it doesn't make sense, and then it gets frustrating, and then they got to learn more things, and then it doesn't make sense, and it gets frustrating. Let's teach them everything from the beginning, and I'll show you why. If they know a, they will have no trouble reading f, at, l, a, z, e, w, a, sp, a, b, out. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, that is disjointed. That is what sounding out words is. They need to learn how to sound out the words, and then that's the skill. You see, reading is a learned skill. When they learn this skill, they will be able to read anything. Let's go on and go further to what skills they have to learn. Well, you have to know that there's two kinds of phonograms, and you have to learn the 26 single letter phonograms and the 66 multi-letter phonograms. And a multi-letter phonogram is two or more letters together that say one sound in the word. And when you understand what a phonogram is and you teach the 26 letter phonograms, you'll be able to teach the next 66 phonograms, and then you'll have the complete treasure box needed to read any word in the English language. That's why this program works for all students. Beginners, it's the best. Middle students, it's the best. Advanced students, and I call them advanced because they're older and they're smart, but they just didn't learn how to read. This skill will teach them how to read, and they're going to love the most because they're going to say, why didn't anybody ever teach me? And you will become the hero of the day. You teach this, and that student's eyes will be opened, and they'll be like, I can read, I can read, I can read. And that's the joy you're going to hear just a little bit down the road. Let's go. So this is the comprehensive phonics lesson for the single letter phonograms and the rules. Guess what? We already know the sounds, but I'm going to link the sounds to how they're spelled right now. And did you notice how I divided and conquered single letter phonograms, multi-letter phonograms? I'm going to divide again. When you divide the knowledge, it gets easy into bite-sized chunks, and you just go, and you're going to see how easy it is to learn the consonants and the vowels. Here's the rules. Remember, I'm giving you those little warning signs because this is the knowledge. This is how English works. There's two kinds of letters, a vowel and a consonant. And if it's not a vowel, it's a consonant. And if it's not a consonant, it's a vowel. So you learn the 5 vowels, and everything else is a consonant. So that's the logic behind that. Let's learn the consonants first. There's 21 consonants. Let's get those consonants out of the way. Now, a consonant has 1 or 2 sounds. Notice this consonant, and I want you to see these 15. Now, as I teach them, remember, I pull out my handy dandy box, and I'm just showing my student B, and you're going to say B. Now, look how your mouth is formed, B. That means it's a stick first, B, B. And you know what? Teaching older students, you can teach them cursive. And I homeschooled my child, and my oldest one, when he got his bank account open, he had to practice writing his name. And so guess what? My other children learned how to print their name. You never have to sign your name on your pages when you're learning at home. But cursive or print, you teach handwriting. Because remember how I illustrated? You hear it, B. You see it, B. You hear me say it, B. You repeat it, B. You write it, B. You read what you wrote. And I add teach it to me by putting it on the board. So there's a lot of logic getting into this brain. You see, it lights up 4 areas. or even 5 if you teach the student to teach it back to you, because that's the complete circle of learning. This is the framework I use for everything, but it is the framework for teaching right now. B, d, f, h, j, k, l, m, p, t, v, w, y, z. If you can say those sounds, read those sounds, write those sounds, that's the key. That's what you're supposed to do. You say it in dictation, all 15, and then you know which phonograms you have to work on. Okay, now 15 have 1 sound. That means 6 have 2 sounds. Okay, now I want you to listen as I say the sounds. Say them and write them. K, s. And notice, now that I have 2 sounds, I'm going to hold up my fingers. Every time there's a phonogram that has more than 1 sound, say all the sounds and hold up your fingers. K, s, k, s. Okay, the next one, g, j, g, j, qu, k, qu, k. R, r, s, z, s, z, x, z, x, z. Now, if you're looking at that Q and you're like, wait a minute, why is the U there? Q is always followed by U in the English language. Q is lonely. He needs a friend. He needs you. Now, I'm going to go through those 6 phonograms one more time because I want to teach them to you. When you're teaching your students, you are just showing them k, s. That's all they see. But I'm teaching you, the teacher, and I want you, the teacher, to know exactly what I'm talking about, because when you know what I'm talking about, you can teach your student because you'll know what you're talking about. And this is so good because if you have an advanced student, you can loop them in, because anything that has more than 1 sound, you can show them why. And I want you to notice k, s. It has 2 sounds. We call the hard sound k and the soft sound s, but they're both unvoiced sounds. K, s. And notice k, cat, s, city. And you can write those words. Sound it out as you write it. Notice k, a, t, s, it, e, city. And there the Y says E. That's a vowel sound. And the letter G has 2 sounds. G, j, g, j, g, gorilla, j, giraffe. And your student can hear you say those words. That's what you do. But you only need to show them k, s, and g, j. Okay, and we've already reviewed Q is always followed by U, and Q is a consonant blend. K, w, qu. And that is an unvoiced sound. Qu, queen, k, unique. Qu, queen, k, unique. And I've taught this it is an advanced sound, but if you're going to be reading a book and you see picturesque and unique and technique, you're going to be so proud that you knew how to say the k. And we're going to learn silent E's too. So I teach k, k, 2 sounds because that's how English works. And say rat, rat. Fire. And I want you to notice the is spelled with the letter R. The E is silent to make the I say I. Fire. S, z, s, z, snake. Z, is, has, does, was. Z. And the letter X has 2 sounds. X, z. Another consonant blend, k, s, ks, fox. And it's used at the end of the words like fox and box. And at the beginning of the word, it will say xylophone. So those are the 6 consonants that have 2 sounds. And here's the rules. C says S before E, I, or Y. G may say J before E, I, or Y. Isn't that nice? If a consonant has more than one sound, there is a rule, and I use this rule all the time when I'm listening to someone read and they don't say the correct sound where the C or the G says S and J. I say, remember, C says S before E, I, or Y, and I say that rule just like that. C says S before E, I, or Y. G may say J before E, I, or Y. That's the rule. And when they hear it as they're sounding out the words, they will sound them out correctly and they will read them. The C rule, C says before E, I, or Y. See the word center, city, bicycle. And notice C says before the Y because it's ickle. The C says before the Y says I in bicycle. But the second C, what is the second C saying? And that's the question you ask when you hear the word bicycle. You see the word bicycle. What's that second C saying? K, because it's not followed by an E, I, or Y. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. 3 of them make the C say S, E, I, or Y. If it's not E, I, or Y, the C will say K. That means 89% of the time the C says K. Only 11% of the time will the C say S, and it follows that rule very nicely. And the G has that same rule. G may say J before E, I, or Y. Angel, giant, Jim. Notice J, angel, J, giant, J, Jim. Now, G may say J before E, I, or Y because it doesn't have to. Get, gift, girl. And those are all followed by the E and the I. So it doesn't always follow that rule. But you're teaching that right from the beginning. And the children will very soon, these will become sight words. But I want you to know every word can be sounded out. G, at, g, if, g, earl. Every word can be sounded out. And once you've seen it and you've sounded it out and you've read it enough times, every word becomes a sight word. But why start with the sight words? Because then you hamper their ability to learn to sound it out. Sound out every word, even if it is a sight word, because every sight word can be sounded out. Take the time to painstakingly build that skill. Read, read, read. I've noticed every 6 months a student makes progress. If you faithfully read a book a day, read a book a day, read words, read sentences, read pages, read chapters, read books. Keep it going, and that is how you teach reading. Okay, now we've got all the way through the consonants, and now the vowels. All vowels have 2 or 4 sounds. The letter A has 4 sounds. And when you see it, it's ah, ah. Hold up your finger, ah, like an apple, ah, apple. Say apple. What does the A say in apple? Ah. A, baby, baby. A, what does the A say in baby? Can you hear the A sound? A. I say the short sound and the long sound together. A. Ah, water. Water, ah. Can you hear the ah sound? That's the third sound. Ah. Say the 3 sounds. Ah. Idea. Now I purposely chose a 3-syllable word. Idea. Every syllable needs a vowel. I, d, E, What does the A say in idea? The A says and the A says at the end of the word. That is another rule, but I'm going to teach that to you again. A, That's the first vowel. E, E. Only two sounds. Egg, egg, me, e. Can you say it? Can you write it? Read it? Teach it to me. I'm going to show it to you. You're going to write it. You're going to read it. Then you're going to teach it to me. E. I, E. I, E. Igloo. Igloo, Igloo, ice cream. Ice cream, I. Ski. Ski. Onion. Onion. Now, I am teaching you to sound out words without even reading them. Onion. Onion. That's how you sound out words. It's taking them apart, a sound at a time, and then you put it together and you read it. Blending is part of reading. Sounding out the words is linking the letters to the sound. The letter O has 4 sounds. O, oo, O, oo, ox, O, open, O. Love, Can you hear the in love? O, ooh, two. Can you hear the ooh and two? Ooh. Those are the 4 sounds. Say it, see it, say it, write it, read it. See it, say it, write it, read it, teach it to me. Then I'll write what I hear. And the letter U has 4 sounds. U, ooh, up, cup, Can you hear the in cup? Uniform. Can you hear the U in uniform? U has the consonant y, ooh in it. It's a consonant vowel blend. U, because that's the name of the vowel. The U says U at the end of a syllable. That's a rule. And U is the sound of U in uniform. U, ooh, glue. Ooh, glue. Pull, or put your foot on the floor. Ooh, ooh, Now all 4. U, ooh, And congratulations, you have learned the 5 vowels. But wait a minute. The Y is special. Do you know why? The Y is both a vowel and a consonant. Now, when you teach the Y, you're just looking at this. They're going to see it. They're going to listen and hear you say, yeah, I, E. Now, you write it, and if you're teaching them, you teach them how to write it. Yeah, I, E. Yeah, I, E. And then they write it, and then they read it back to you. You listen to them say it, and then they teach it to you, and you write what you hear. Yeah, I, E. Yeah, yes. Jim. I, cry, and E, happy. Aren't you happy? We finished the single letter phonograms, and you're halfway done to completing this full treasure box. The 92 phonograms, you've already learned 26. The 25 rules, I forgot to keep count, but I know you've learned about 6. And the knowing that the sounds, you've heard the sounds as you've gone through it. I have analyzed the sounds, but and I'll do that for fun later on. I'm a statistics person, but you don't need to focus on the sounds. You need to focus on the sounds the phonogram makes. 1, 2, or 4 sounds. And you can read with your student. And I found the best verse in the Bible because I want you to know that you can open up a Bible. That can be your first reading book because it's just that simple. Because God gave us a whole library, 66 books in all. He wanted us to be a reader, and many have learned to read from reading the Bible. Many learned foreign languages by reading the Bible in the foreign language next to the English Bible, and that's how they would teach themselves the other language. So the Bible is the Word of God, and it is your first reading book. We'll talk about reading books later, but no need to wonder. You can get your Bible out. And look at this. Sound it out. Now, I have underlined some letters. Do you know which ones I've underlined? The single letter phonograms. And I want you to look at ask and it. All single letters, all saying their first sounds. Shh. If your child doesn't know that says shh, you can say that's a multi-letter phonogram. 2 letters together that says shh, just one sound. Sh, al, shall. B, g, even, you. This is a multi-letter phonogram that says oo. Seek. This is a multi-letter phonogram. And ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. If you were asking, can I teach my child to read? Yes, you can. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and ye shall find. Were you seeking for a program to teach reading? You will find it. Here it is. God led you here. Knock. You knocked on my door. Well, come right in. It shall be open unto you. And I mean the door of reading. This is so exciting. And so as we conclude this video, please join the Reading Revolution. Be part of the solution. Like and subscribe and share. Let me know where you're from. I'm going to post another video real soon. If you're new to teaching reading, take a minute to take a deep breath and thank God for leading you here. I know I thank God you showed up. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.